One-level tiny homes in urban cottage community offer peaceful living. Here is something wild. According to recent housing surveys, more people are downsizing today than at any other point in the last decade, and a huge chunk of them are choosing one-level tiny homes. Not cabins in the woods, not off-grid huts, but these modern little cottages tucked right inside urban neighborhoods. And honestly, it makes sense. Imagine waking up in a peaceful home that does not make you climb stairs, fight clutter, or battle traffic noise, yet still keeps you minutes from coffee shops, parks, and that one bakery you always tell yourself you will stop visiting. Today, the spotlight is on one-level tiny homes inside urban cottage communities and why they are becoming everyone's new favorite escape without actually escaping. Open plan. Living that feels bigger than it looks. Walk inside one of these homes, and the first thing that hits you is that strange moment when your brain refuses to believe what your eyes are seeing. How is something this compact feeling twice its size? It is because designers finally cracked the code with open plans that are not just open in a trendy way, but intentionally structured to stretch the room visually. Kind of like the way we all widen our eyes when pretending to understand complicated instructions. There is a moment of light humor, but the explanation still stays rooted in real design strengths like continuous sightlines, raised ceilings, and the lack of walls that normally shrink small rooms. The practical side arrives gently. Less clutter, fewer places for dust to hide, easier cleaning, and a flow that makes it feel like a grown-up studio, but without the chaos. Natural light that turns a tiny home into a mood booster. One-level tiny homes have this sneaky way of turning natural light into their best accessory, and honestly, it is unfair how good the place looks without trying. Step inside and you get that instant, "Oh, this is nice" feeling, the same one you get when you walk past a window display that makes you rethink your entire wardrobe. Then it digs into the charm. Large windows, skylights, and glass doors that turn even gloomy days into something softer and warmer. There is a quick mention about how people sometimes assume tiny homes feel dark or enclosed, followed by a reassuring nudge, reminding them that these communities were designed specifically to avoid that issue. A quiet community. Vibe without feeling isolated. You know that little fantasy of living somewhere quiet, where you can actually hear yourself think, but still having neighbors close enough that you are not waving at tumbleweeds? That is the entire vibe of these cottage communities. Then the narration explores how these neighborhoods find the sweet spot. Small enough to feel personal, but connected enough that you do not feel like you wandered off into hermit territory. It acknowledges a common worry. People assume tiny home communities feel cramped or overly communal, but reassures them by explaining how thoughtful spacing, landscaping, and paths create privacy without walls or fences. Single-level convenience that just makes life easier. There is something oddly luxurious about living on a single level, and nobody really talks about it until they experience it. Then the narration dives into lifestyle perks. No stairs, no worrying about tripping on that one step your brain always forgets exists, and no climbing anything when carrying groceries or laundry. It gently acknowledges that people often overlook this convenience because it sounds too simple to matter. But once you live without stairs, it changes your daily flow. A tiny bit of humor sneaks in about how stairs always seem fine until you are holding a heavy bag of takeout. Outdoor spaces that feel like your private escape. Imagine stepping outside and having a small porch or patio that feels like your own micro-resort. The kind of place where even a simple chair suddenly looks like a throne. That sets the tone for describing outdoor layouts that tiny home communities intentionally plan to create personal mini sanctuaries, even in urban settings. It addresses a subtle concern people have about outdoor space in cities, acknowledging it in a soft way before quickly dissolving the worry with examples of how clever landscaping and angled placements protect privacy. A warm, lightly humorous comment pops in about how even a small garden pot becomes fascinating once you actually have time to look at it every morning. Smart layouts that make storage feel magical. These homes have this funny ability to hide things in places you did not even know could be storage, to the point where you start questioning how much space you have been wasting in your past homes. The narration keeps it natural and human by joking about drawers, inside drawers, and cabinets inside benches, but never in a way that feels exaggerated. It then explains why tiny homes have become great at maximizing storage without making the place look like a puzzle box. It gently addresses the fear that tiny homes require extreme minimalism, then reassures viewers that smart design removes most of that struggle. Minimal maintenance that gives you your time back. One thing people rarely think about is how much time they lose cleaning, fixing, and maintaining a bigger home. And once you cut that down, it feels like gaining hours you did not even know existed. The narration talks about how one-level tiny homes require less upkeep simply because there is less of everything to stress over. A little humor comes in with an aside about how cleaning the whole house no longer feels like training for a marathon. Viewers get reassurance that tiny homes are not fragile, just streamlined. The paragraph ends by emphasizing how much easier life feels when chores do not take over your weekends. Urban convenience without the urban chaos. It is funny how these communities manage to sit right inside the city, yet somehow feel like they are hiding from it. Then it expands on how the location provides quick access to shops, parks, and essentials without plunging residents into noise, traffic, and the fast-paced blur of downtown living. It acknowledges a common worry, that tiny home communities might end up in inconvenient outskirts, but shifts that concern quickly by explaining that developers intentionally place them in city pockets. People overlook. A small, relaxed joke about being able to grab a morning coffee without needing a day trip makes the segment feel more human. Energy efficiency that saves money, quietly. It is amazing how a tiny home can be so quiet about saving you money, almost like a friend who pays your coffee tab without saying anything. The narration then dives into efficient insulation, smaller heating and cooling needs, and lighting that takes advantage of natural brightness. It momentarily touches on the misconception that energy efficiency requires complicated lifestyle changes, then brushes it off by showing how these systems work behind the scenes without demanding effort. A lighthearted moment appears about how your utility bill might finally stop scaring you. If this look inside one-level tiny homes has you imagining what your life could feel like with more calm, more light, and more breathing room, then take a second to like this video so more people can discover it too. Leave your thoughts or questions in the comments because the best ideas always show up when we talk together. And if you enjoy exploring smart, peaceful living just like this, make sure to subscribe so you do not miss the next deep dive.